But first, the North Korean leader Kim Jong Un and the Russian President Vladimir Putin have met at the Vostochny Space Center in the far east of Russia, where they are holding talks. A video of the two men meeting and shaking hands was published on the Kremlin's official Telegram channel. It's the first trip abroad the North Korean leader has made in 4 years. Further video was shared showing the pair touring the Vostochny Space Center. The US believes Mr. Kim is preparing to sell Russia the ammunition and artillery it needs for its war in Ukraine. In return, he's expected to ask Mr. Putin to share advanced weapons technology. Well, live now to our Seoul correspondent, Jean McKenzie. Jean, welcome to you. In the past few minutes, we understand that Mr. Kim has told Mr. Putin that they support all of Russia's decisions. What do you make of this meeting? What is in it for both of these men?
Well, Mr. Kim has been one of the very few supporters of Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine from the outset. But there is an awful lot to be gained by both these sides by this meeting. Both of these leaders have become increasingly isolated over the past few years, and the more isolated they have become, the more they have in common, and the more it appears that they have something to offer each other. As you said, the United States certainly believes that they are meeting to finalise an arms deal, that North Korea is preparing to sell Mr. Putin the weapons that he needs to continue fighting his war in Ukraine. In return, Mr. Kim is expected to ask Mr. Putin to hand over advanced pieces of weapons technology that will help him make progress in his own nuclear weapons program. And we know that one area where Mr. Kim is really struggling to make progress at the moment is with his space program. North Koreans have tried to launch a spy satellite into orbit twice in the last 6 months, and they failed. So it's perhaps no coincidence that we see them today meeting at a space center. When Vladimir Putin arrived there, one of the reporters asked him, "Are you going to help Kim Jong Un put satellites into space?" And the Russian leader replied that yes, that was exactly why they were there. Now, whether or not Mr. Putin will actually be prepared to hand over this very sensitive technology is a different question. But he's certainly sending a signal to the United States and to the West that he is prepared to help Kim Jong Un.
Where does the balance of power lie in this relationship? And what does it say, this meeting between these two men, the first time that Mr. Kim has left North Korea in 4 years? What does it say about the geopolitics of this region?
Yeah, Mr. Kim doesn't leave North Korea lightly or often, as you say. And actually, the last time that he left the country was to meet Vladimir Putin in Vladivostok back in 2019. But then the circumstances were very, very different. Talks between the United States and North Korea, between Donald Trump and Kim Jong Un, had just broken down. And Kim Jong Un was on his way to meet Vladimir Putin to show that he had other friends, other people he could talk to. But really, Vladimir Putin's message was to get Kim Jong Un to denuclearize. Now, as you say, the two leaders have just become so isolated. They have very few friends between them, and they are having to lean on each other. I think the relationship in some sense is quite balanced because they both have something that the other wants. North Korea has the weapons that Russia wants. Russia has the technology that North Korea wants. But on a more basic level, North Korea needs food, it needs oil, it needs money, because the sanctions that are imposed upon it are really starting to bite. And these are two sanction-hit countries that are now desperate.
OK, Jean in Seoul, thank you for the update.